Hey, what's going on, guys? Brandon here with Texas Plinking. Quite excited for this one because it is among my favorite subject in all of shooting, which is long range. And if you guys know me, you guys know I believe that 80% of it is how the rifle looks. 20% is how it shoots. Luckily, this one here shoots pretty lights out. But it's a weird build. But it's a build you guys haven't seen yet. So I'm gonna piece it apart, but it's mostly gonna be about the optic because it's kind of crazy. And as the title should suggest, it's one of the better optics, if not one of the best, actually, for under $1,000. Without beating around the bush too much, it is an Arkin optics. This one here is a 4 to 16 power. They also have a 6 to 24 power coming out later this month on the 29th. But they're new on the scene, and it's a feature-rich optic. And if you guys are in the market for stepping up to a 34mm tube and all kinds of stuff, we'll dive into it. Pretty cool. But so this is not so much a optic review, but certainly featuring it heavily in this video. But real quick, let's just run through it. It's an interesting build, to say the least. First and foremost, you will notice, if you are remotely even a gun person, the chassis. This is in fact a aac-sd International chassis system, the 1.5 generation, which is to say it's not the folding stock version like the tan one I have on my Alamo Precision build. Love that thing. This is the 1.5 in green. I think it looks awesome in green. So not so much a budget-friendly chassis because they stopped making it. So I picked this one up on eBay for like about $1,000, but they're going up in value, so I justified it. Plus it looks good. The rifle itself. This is where we start getting a little bit more budget-oriented. This is a factory Remington 700 aac-sd in 6.5 Creedmoor. I think the barrel length on this one was 22 inches. Threaded out of the factory, and I got it on Gunbroker new for, I think it was, gotta double check, I think right around the $500 mark. Then that didn't come with the rail, so I bought this on Amazon, this little Remington 700 rail here for about 50 bucks, and then some Seekins rings, 34mm, holding in the Arkin Optics optic. Then of course I just threw on my suppressor because when I'm shooting bolt actions, I love them suppressed. Then I spent the coin. This is actually for a different build, but I figured why not throw it on here for the video. This is in fact more high dollar. This is on an American Defense QD mount, I'm losing my mind here, Atlas bipod. Had a brain fart there. Atlas bipod, super cool. You got swivel and pan, but that sucker right there is about 3 times the price of a Harris 6 to 9 inch bipod, which those alone are about 100 bucks. Do the math, it's a little over 300 bucks. Totally worth it though, but it's QD, so I'm gonna throw it around different rifles, so it's not specific to this build. Now we're just gonna go ahead and drive out. We're losing some light, so we'll make it quick. We'll go to 455 yards and then 686 yards and see if we can get some hits. Before I do that though, with all the guns I have, and sometimes when I get a new gun, I'll feature it real quickly, and then you guys don't really see it until like months later. I kind of want to change that up. Although this video is specific to the scope and this build, I kind of want to throw in a random gun, shoot it a little bit, and prioritize this rifle. But if you guys have any guns of mine that you like, pistols or rifles or whatever, that you guys haven't seen featured yet, and you want to see it in the beginning of the next video, let me know. I kind of selected this one randomly, but this is the PA-15 that I stress test. As you can see, it's been nicked and ticked. Throw on the ACOG on there, so it looks pretty mil-spec. Let's go ahead and run some rounds through it and then shoot some long range with the bolt action. All right, and when applicable, I love to show off the ETS speed loaders. Same people who make all those cool transparent mags that get a lot of likes on Instagram. All right, back to the Remington. I love no hearing protection. These bolt actions suppressed are pretty quiet as they go. All right, let's see if I can do it again here. That was dead center. I don't know if I could get a more center splat than that. Feels, I don't know why. I usually dial for wind. I want to get better at just holding over. Feels kind of cool just putting one of the dots to the left. Let's go ahead and knock a few more down here, and let's talk about some specs about this scope, talk about the reticle, because it's freaking cool, and then get the review out of the way, and then we'll go really long range, or as far as I can here. But let's do it again here. Very nice. That's 3 for 3 on camera, 4 for 4 if you count the one I did cold bore out here. Let's do 4 for 4 on camera, 5 for 5 for me hopefully, and then we'll just kind of move on because this is child's play. It's so weird because right here there's no wind, but I know that's not the case down there, so I'm holding off the target just slightly. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this scope because it's pretty phenomenal. I'm shooting a rig that looks as good as this, and this scope is about $649. I'll put a link in the description to where you guys can buy it. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there might even be a coupon available. Try it, let me know if it works for y'all. But it should be Texas Plinking, all one, lowercase. I don't think it's case sensitive. And I don't know what the discount is, but you might even be able to get it cheaper. But right now it's $649 for the 4 to 16. Here's the quick summary with this, okay? This is a 4 to 16 zoom range, which is pretty common. I believe the objective lens, if I'm not mistaken, is 50. Sure is. So that's a pretty common formula. Where it starts getting kind of crazy, of course, rather than the price, which we'll get to, I already mentioned, but it is a first focal plane. All right, that's not too uncommon. We'll see that quite a bit as well. It's also got 0 reset, so you could take the turrets off after you zero it, put it back. That's pretty common. It's also got 0 stop. Not too common with that specs for under $1,000, so that's a nice plus. Not common at all though. It doesn't have a 1-inch tube, doesn't have a 30mm tube. It is 34mm. A lot more milling adjustable here, and it kind of complements a larger objective lens like a 50 very, very well. So you have 0 stop, 0 reset, first focal plane. And first focal plane worthy on this because the reticle is awesome. They didn't just grab a reticle from elsewhere, they designed it themselves. It's almost like information rich, like a Horus H59 or something like that. Just a lot of wind and drop compensation. I'll show a little clip. It is, it's kind of crazy. Cool thing with this one is it has the rangefinder on the vertical line right above the crosshair itself. So in that situation, hopefully I don't need to use it for that, but you could rangefind real quickly and then move that reticle right to it. So it's kind of cool versus having it off to the right or left. So that's kind of the quick and dirty here. First focal plane 34, great zoom range, pretty common overall. And making a little different from normal optics, they made this one kind of a graphite gray color, which I think complements the green and black on this build in particular really, really nicely. But overall, really, really impressed with that. And like I said, I don't even know what the discount is, but you guys use Texas Plinking, you guys might actually get some money off of that, which is kind of ludicrous. ED glass, again, at the price, crazy. First focal plane, 0 stop, 50 BMG rated. Pretty cool. Fog proof, 34mm tube. And get this, they have a no questions asked transferable lifetime warranty as well. So if anything ever happens, you are covered, and they guarantee precision tracking, meaning that it is always going to be within like 0.1%, if I'm not mistaken, of returning back to where you last left it. You don't get performance like that until you start going 3,000 plus Night Force Schmidt and Bender. Specifically, this one here is the EP4, which is their new line, 4 to 16. Like I said, 6 to 24 coming out, I think on the 29th. They're even coming out with their own 34mm rings, which are also cost effective. So yeah, that's a quick look at Arcan Optics if you guys haven't heard about them, but I'm pretty excited to keep running it through its paces. That was enough talking. I think we lost just enough light there to where we won't get too much glare. Let's go shoot 686 yards and see how this setup does. All right, so I got the camera ready to go, zoomed in at 686 yards. I'm gonna try 5 mils, that should be okay, and then it says to do 1.3 mils of windage. Ready? Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, guys, this rifle costs 500 bucks. Not the setup, but the rifle. Look at that sky. Okay, enough of the sky. Back to something pretty. So that's that, guys. The world's just kind of gone mad. I remember the first time I ever spent good money on a scope. It was a 30mm tube. It was over $1,000, and it just didn't have the features this did. So it's quite a time to get to long range. But anyway, in case you guys were curious about how it looks with the suppressor off, as far as the 22-inch barrel, now you guys know. And again, it's got that kind of tuning fork looking flash hider. But there it is, guys. I will put all the applicable links. YouTube won't really let me put a link to a gun anymore, but optics and all that stuff I certainly will. Bipod and everything if you guys are willing to spend the dollar on it. But I know it's a weird one. I know it's some cheap or some budget friendly and some high dollar stuff, but it's a weird build. But oh my gosh, it's shooting lights out. Speaking of lights out, we're about to go lights out here. So I think that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one.